All right, guys, we're going to work some problems from your Unit 5 review on trigonometry to help you prepare for tomorrow's test. So we're going to start with number 4. We already did number 1 and number 2 in class yesterday. We're starting with number 4. I've already written these 3 triangles. This one is acute, the one in the middle is right, and the one at the end is obtuse. And so I want us to think about what these statements say and see if they're true or false. It says which conjectures are supported. So we're looking for true statements. The sum of the areas of 2 squares on the 2 smaller sides of a triangle is equal to the area of the largest side if the triangle is a right triangle. So which picture has a right triangle? Well, that'd be figure 2. It says the sum, so that means we're adding the 2 smaller ones. So we're doing 49 plus 81. The question is, does that equal the largest one? Does that equal 130? And if you type that in, that is true. All right, let's look for some keywords in this next one. The sum, again, we're talking about the sum of the areas of the 2 smaller squares in each problem. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. It's the end of the day. My voice is just almost gone. We're going to try to get through this, though. We're looking for it to be greater than on the obtuse triangle. So I'm going to go to the obtuse triangle, and I'm going to say the sum, 25 plus 75, is greater than 144. Is that true? It seemed to me that that is a false statement. 100 is smaller than 144. And then number 3, we've got less than. The sum, so that'd be 100 plus 100, is less than, well, they're all 100, so that also seems to be false. So the only true statement is this first one. Number 5. Number 5 says, which proportion? They're not even asking us to solve this one. They're only asking us to set up a proportion. I feel like I do these questions better if I separate my 2 triangles. I have a 6 and an 8. And then on the big triangle, I have an X. And on this side, it's this whole thing. So I'm going to do the 24 plus the 8 to get 32. So which proportion could be used? Well, I could write 6 over 8 equals x over 32. There are lots of other proportions I could write. I could write x over 6 equals 32 over 8. The key here is it's going to be any proportion where the cross products give us x times 8 equals 6 times 32. If your proportion is giving you that product, then you've set up a good proportion. Remember, these are going to be multiple choice, so you've just got to be able to find a good one. Number 6, they tell us CD is an altitude. What that means is this right here is a right angle. So you're going to have your formulas. CD squared is AD times DB. CB squared is DB times AB. And AC squared is AD times AB. I'm going to give you those 3 formulas that go with this picture, so that should help this problem. We're trying to decide, are these true or false? So let's see if this matches one of these. If I do the cross product, CD times CD is CD squared equals AD times BD. Is that one of them? Oh, it's the very first one, so this is true. Okay, does this match any of them? CD times AD, if I do my cross products, equals BD times AC. No, I don't have a squared, so that doesn't match any of them, so it looks to me like that one's probably false. ACB is similar to CBD. Well, in this first one, that C is a right angle, isn't it? That C is 90 degrees. So my letters have to be in the right order. So that means that B has to also be a right angle. But if I look at B, it is definitely not 90 degrees. So that leads me to believe that this is a false statement. Angle CBA, so that's this one again, is congruent to DCB. That's a tough one there. CBA is congruent to DCB. I think maybe what would help us here is if we drew those two triangles facing the same way. ACB is the biggest right triangle, so I'm going to draw it like this. There's C, it's the right angle. And B's the short leg, so it goes up here, and A's the long leg, so it goes over here. And then DCB, D is the right angle. And it looks like here B is the short leg, so I'm going to put a B here. And C is the long leg, so C goes down here. So is angle B in the top one in the same position as angle C in the bottom one? Nope. This one's this angle, and this one's on the bottom, so these are not the same, so there's a false statement. Number 7, this is another one like these. These formulas are what's going to help you. So, I do better if I have these letters. So I'm going to put CD on the altitude and A and B on the corners. I'm going to turn my paper this way so it faces what I'm used to. C, D, and A and B. We want to find this one right here. Okay, so what my formula says is that AC squared is going to be AD times AB. That's the formula I'm using. So 13 squared equals AD is X and AB is this whole thing. They tell you over here that the whole thing is 41. So I'm going to say times 41. So 169 equals X times 41, and divide both sides by 41. Of course, you'll have your calculator to help you with the division. I'm getting that X is 4.12. We are omitting number 8, so let's go to number 9. If my two triangles are similar, it says that two triangles are similar. That means that their angles have to be congruent. So this angle in here has to be 56 degrees. And they've told me that this height that the antenna is going to be attached at is 50 feet. And we want to find side Y. So compared to the 56, the Y is the hypotenuse, and the 50 is the opposite. So this is going to be a trig problem, and we're going to use sine because we have opposite and hypotenuse. So we're going to say sine 56 equals 50 over y. And then do your cross products. Y times sine 56 equals 50. And divide by sine 56, just like in your homework from a couple of nights ago. So when I put this in my calculator, I get that y is about 60 feet. And it says round to the nearest foot. Number 10, it says find AT, so that'd be this side. So compared to this angle, the 11.8 is the adjacent, and the x is the hypotenuse. So when I have A and H, that tells me to do cosine. This is where we're going to do our cross products again. X cosine 66 equals 11.8. And then divide by cosine 66. So that's what's going in your calculator. Get that all typed in correctly, and you will get that x is 27.05 degrees. An interesting thing here, notice that this one says which expression. So it's not even asking you to actually find the answer. On this question, if you can write this, you don't have to solve it. So that's nice. I got a little carried away and went all the way to solving it, but you're not going to have to do that on the actual test. Number 11, angle of elevation to the top of the tree. This is our angle of elevation, 37 degrees, and we're trying to find the height of the tree. So compared to this, we have opposite and we have adjacent. So we're going to do tangent of 37 degrees equals h over 11.6. Cross products, 11.6 tangent 37 equals h. That's what goes in my calculator to give me an answer of 8.7 meters. All right, number 12 is one of them where if you can just get the right things written in the right places, the rest of the problem's not so bad. So here's our triangle. They've drawn it in here for us with these little dotted lines and stuff. If this building's 1,000 feet tall and this building's 1,550, then this vertical part right here is 550 because I just subtract them. And they're telling me these skyscrapers are 500 feet apart. Approximate the angle of elevation. There's the angle of elevation. That's where your x degrees are going to go. So we have opposite and adjacent. So we're going to use tangent. So we're going to say tangent of x is 550 over 500. To undo tangent, we do inverse tangent. So that's what you need to type in your calculator. X equals 47 point, it says nearest tenth, so we're going to say 47.7 degrees on that one. Thirteen's another one that says which expression. So if you can just get this set up, you're going to be good. Angle F, so that's the one we're trying to find. 5 is our adjacent. 13 is our hypotenuse. So adjacent hypotenuse tells me to use cosine. So I'm going to say cosine F equals 5 over 13. So how would we solve for F? Well, we'd use inverse cosine. So basically what they're asking you here is what would you put in your calculator? This right here is what you would put in your calculator. We don't even care what the answer is. They're just testing to see if you know how to set it up. "14. The boat is 57 feet above the seafloor, so we're going to put 57 right there. The rope is 90 feet long. We want to find the angle of depression. All right, so angle of depression is looking down. So that would be this angle right here. So in the triangle they've drawn, we're talking about this angle down here. So compared to this angle, we've got opposite, we've got hypotenuse. So we're going to say sine of that angle is 57 over 90. Sorry, is 57 over 90. So to undo sine, we're going to do inverse sine. So this is what you type in your calculator right here. Type that in correctly, you should get 39.3 degrees because we're going to the nearest tenth again. We are omitting 16 and going to 17. I like 17 because it says 30, so that tells me this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which is really good news because I know patterns for a 30, 60, 90. Remember on your 30, 60, 90, you're going to have x root 3, and 2x. So this arm on the crane that's 72 feet, that's like my 2x. So if 2x is 72, that tells me that x is 36. So that means this side here is 36. So to get the whole distance, I do that 36 plus the 7 it's off the ground. This thing is 42 feet in the air. So much easier if you use your special right triangle than if you have to do all the trig to get that done. We are omitting 18 and 19, so let's go to 20. 20 is a 45, 45, 90. So if I have a 45, 45, 90, my pattern is x root 2, and they're telling me in this problem that the leg, so the x, is 8. So the perimeter is going to be 8 plus 8 plus 8 root 2, or I could say that that's 16 plus 8 root 2. If you need a decimal answer, you could put that in your calculator. Okay, I want you to spend the rest of your time talking with your group about the problems that you had wrong, doing problems again if maybe I went too fast. Spend your time studying so that you can do a very nice job on tomorrow's test. You will have the same formulas on the board that you had for your mid-chapter test. But you need to know sine, cosine, and tangent. You should have those memorized yourself. Work hard, stay focused, be good for your sub. I will be around tomorrow morning at 7:30. If there's something here you need help with before the test, please come get that help. I will see y'all Friday.